Hey, welcome. This is Here's Your Good Health. My name is Linda Prezioso. I'm a nurse practitioner at Family Medical Center. And it's been a heck of a day, y'all. I ran in 2 minutes, not even 2 minutes ago, 2 seconds ago probably. I didn't calculate the amount of time I was going to have with my meeting after work to get to here at 7 o'clock. But anyway, this is Here's Your Good Health, and I'm glad you're here with us. Tonight I've got Jean White with us, my dear friend who is a certified health coach whose goal in life right now is to help people get healthy. And so she's been here before, so if any of you have seen her and have any questions, give us a call, 407-1111. Today is the 10th of November. And so we are live tonight, and we would love to hear from you. So we're going to just start talking about getting healthy. Hey, Jean.
Hey.
She's been sitting here waiting for me.
Not long. About 10 minutes.
Yeah, because I was on the phone with Lee telling him I was going to be late. Anyway, so Jean White, tell me what's your big passion about helping people?
My big passion about helping people? I mean, why I want to help people, or what I want to help them do?
Well, what's your passion about being healthy? Just being healthy?
Being healthy is because your life is better if you're healthy. You can do all the things you want to do. You can help more people. You can. Everything's better if you're healthy. A lot of things you can't do if you're not healthy.
Right.
It limits you a lot.
It does, doesn't it?
Yeah. So.
You don't have the energy to get up and go.
You don't have the energy.
You don't have you cannot breathe well because you've got too much weight. You don't have energy, so you go out and grab a burger instead of cooking a healthy meal or a hot dog. I was going to do that, but I didn't even have time to do that. So now I might as well go home and eat what's in the refrigerator.
And if you're not feeling well, you're just sitting around watching TV all day.
Right.
And that just makes matters worse.
Yes.
Because it slows down your metabolism, it slows down your whole system slows down.
It slows down your mind, too.
Your mind, and you get dementia. Because you're not getting enough circulation to your brain.
And you're not
makes,
challenging yourself.
You're not. So it just makes life... the quality of life is decreased if you're not healthy, and there's so many things you can do to stay as healthy as possible. There's some things you can't avoid, like age, and there are some things like once you get some diseases, you can't get rid of them, like arthritis. But there are things you can do to mitigate them. There are things to make them as good as you can get them, and to keep them as good as you can get them.
Right.
So the goal is not total health, because that's not possible, but to be as healthy as you can be, and as productive as you can be, as happy as you can be, to live a good quality of life.
And it's really multifactorial, isn't it? It's not just eating healthy.
It's not just eating healthy. It's not. It's having purpose in life, because if you don't have a reason to get up every morning, it's, I've got several people that I'm just talking to right now because they just don't have a reason to get up. Going on a diet is not even, they're not thinking about that. They're just thinking, why should I live?
Right.
There's no reason to live, and that's a miserable way to live.
Well, and I think a lot of people, that happens. You hear stories, and you've probably got a family member or somebody you know yourself that he retired and died a year later.
Exactly, yeah.
Because he doesn't have the reason to get up.
No, because their identity is caught up in their job and their vocation. And I was a nurse practitioner, right? So when I retired, I kept my RN license so I could volunteer, but I let my nurse practitioner license go. But then, I'm thinking, okay, so if I'm not a nurse practitioner anymore, you're always a nurse practitioner, but I'm not paid to be a nurse practitioner anymore. So who am I? What's my identity now? And that's something you just have to think about. And if you're a fireman and you retire from being a fireman, who are you now? If you're a teacher and you retire from being a teacher, well, who are you now? So that's an important thing to deal with and grapple with, is who are you?
How did you find out who you were?
Well, fortunately, I knew that I was unhealthy. And that's not who I am, but that's to answer your question where I was. I knew I was unhealthy, and I knew that if I kept on going down the road that I was on, that I was going to, in a very short period of time, end up being taken care of instead of being a caregiver. And I did not want to live that way. I just didn't. So I got on the Optavia program, got a coach, and she's the one that helped me to discover, what's important to me, what relationships are important to me, and who am I really, why am I still here? Now, why hasn't God taken me now? Why am I still here? What's my purpose in life?
And so when you're a health coach, it's not just about eating healthy and, eating well and learning how to prepare foods. There's much more to it.
You have to deal with not being depressed. You have to deal with not exercise, but movement.
Right.
Like I said, you don't want to just sit and watch TV all day. But as you get older, it's harder to do the kind of exercise you do when you were younger. So you have to change what you're doing, the kind of movement that you're getting. But you still need to move all the time to keep your brain getting enough oxygen up there. These brain cells are real sensitive. They die real easily if we don't give them enough oxygen.
That's right.
It's just real sensitive. The nervous system itself is just it's the most sensitive system to oxygen levels that we have, and we don't want them to die off. So, yeah, we're dealing how to deal with frustration, with anxiety. All those things are just stress. I mean, everybody needs some stress, but not an excess of stress.
Yeah, I got an excess right now.
Yeah, sounds like you had a stressful day.
Well, a stressful time after work more than the day, but anyway.
And that's one of the other things you have to deal with is your time management, so that you're not always, I don't have enough time, and I've got to get this done, I've got to get that done. And one of the things that I have a problem with was that I didn't have a structure. And when I was working, I had a structure. I knew what I was supposed to do and when I was supposed to do it. I had it all organized. But when all that was gone, I didn't have any organization. I didn't have any structure. So I was forgetting things. Not because my brain was anything wrong with my brain, but just because I didn't have a means of keeping it all together. And I realized when I went to bed at night that there was all these things that were just kind of out there for me. I have to do this, I have to get that, I have to take care of this, I have to make sure I don't forget about this. And I had a hard time getting to sleep. So I had to start setting up reminders and getting a calendar together that had reminders on it. And, when I agreed to do something, I would put it on the calendar. Because if it's not on the calendar, I may not do it.
I put stuff on my calendar, and she said today, Linda, isn't it next week that we're going to do our cooking show? And I went, yeah, only I can't. I'll be out of town.
Yeah.
She's going to fire me.
No, I'm not going to fire you. I'll never fire you, my friend Linda. So now I have a calendar, and I put it on the calendar. Because if it's not on the calendar, then I don't know if I'm going to remember it or not. And that's one of the things that keeps me up at night if I'm not going to remember things. But I not only put it on the calendar, but I put a time to prepare for it on the calendar ahead of time. So that I don't get to that day and say, oh, it's today, and I haven't done anything to get ready for it.
That's what I do.
And that's, so I had to do those kinds of things, putting reminders in place so that my life was organized and there was a structure around it.
So when you say calendar, do you use a calendar on a phone? Do you use a real calendar like this?
I use a calendar on my phone and on my computer. Depends on where I am. I put it on my phone because I've always had my phone with me. So if I'm out, like today when I saw you and I said, we're doing the cooking show on Friday, and you said, this Friday? I said, I think so. I picked up my phone and looked at it, because that's the easiest way to get it.
Yeah.
But I also have a paper calendar that I keep on my desk. So when I'm working, but I also have it on my computer.
Yeah.
My computer and my phone communicate with each other. So it doesn't matter if I put it on here, it's going to go to my computer. If I put it on my computer. But all the reminders of what I'm doing are on the computer. Because that's usually where I am when I need to be doing those, getting the preparation done. And I also get my housework on there too. I got real organized there for a while. I'm glad I did, because now I've got everything that I need to do, made a list and divided it up among 6 days. So I try not to put anything on Sunday because things happen on Sunday anyways.
Well, we need
I need a day of rest. Yeah. So I divide all the housework up, and every day there's something on my calendar, and it's right there on the computer. When I get up in the morning and check my computer, it tells me the things I need to do for housework to get everything done. So nothing's more than a week away from being done.
That's what I need to do, because when I'm home, I'm like, well, what do I do now? I did the laundry, I washed the dishes, I put the dishes away. I fed the cat. Now what do I do? See, I need that. I am a list person.
I am too.
I love a list.
Yeah, me too.
I love to check them
I
off.
love the list. Putting things on a list makes my world organized. So when I go to bed at night, everything's not out there just floating around.
Right.
It's on the list.
Right.
And if I forgot to put something on the list, I got to get up, put that on the list before I can go to sleep. And I'll get up and go open my computer and put it on the list. And then it's captured. It's not going
Right.
to go away.
Somebody gave me a little pocket calendar for next year to keep in my purse, and I said, that's what I need, because I've got one this size, and it's too big, and it gets in my way, and I don't look at it.
I don't like carrying a lot of stuff around, so that's why I've got mine on my computer, on my phone, so that I've always got access to it. If I need more information, I'm going to go to the computer, but especially when I'm out and about and talking to somebody. I talked to somebody like Sally. We were talking about having lunch one day. I had my calendar right there. I said, let's see what day I'm available, It was easy. Just put it on there. Now it's going to be on my computer because it's on here. It'll communicate with my computer. So, and that's part of my living with as little stress as possible. Because one of the things I have developed recently is atrial fibrillation in my heart, and that weakens my heart every time I get a bout of AFib, and so I'm trying to control that. The cardiologist doesn't want to do anything about it until I get it for 7 days in a row. I'm thinking, are you kidding me? So, and I get it. Sometimes it'll just be a few minutes, and it'll be a couple of hours. Sometimes it's a whole day. It's never been more than a whole day that I know about.
So he wants us sustained for
Yes.
7 days?
He said he doesn't want to treat it if it's just every once in a while. It's not all the time. So he said it's harder to treat those. Much easier to treat if it's sustained. But if it's not sustained, it's harder to treat it. So, and he doesn't want to do anything. So, but and everybody's triggers are different. Nobody really knows what causes AFib. It's one of those diseases that we know it's there. Like Dr. Martin, she said, it just is. I said, that doesn't help me any. I need to know what to do. But I know for me, the things that trigger it are stress and sugar. If I have a sugar binge, I'm going to have AFib.
Wow.
Yeah. If I get stressed out, I'm going to have AFib. So that's one of my ways of, I don't have sugar binges anymore, but I know that I need to keep my stress level down. So that's one of the ways of keeping my stress level down, is getting everything on paper so it's captured and I'm not going to forget it.
I think that's a great tip, and I'm going to get better. I don't know when, but I'm going to get better.
Yeah.
So today was just kind of an unusual day. I do have a very busy lifestyle, and I do a lot of things, but I had this appointment at 5 o'clock this afternoon right after work, so I left work, ran out of work, went to Nash Community College for this appointment, thinking to myself, well, it's at 5 o'clock. I'll get done at 6 or 6:10. I was going to go to Sheetz and fill up my car, which is still empty. I said, well, I'll just get, they've got food there. I'll get a hot dog or something for supper. Well, I looked at my watch, and I had 20 minutes to get from Nash Community College to Wesleyan College, and I walked in
2 minutes after 7.
2 minutes after 7. And we start at 7. So, but today, I do have a busy lifestyle, and sometimes it gets a little too stressful, but this is something that I have to do. There's just no ifs, ands, or buts about it. So, but anyway.
But you said it's more than just eating, and to me,
Yes.
losing weight is not about the food. Most people are not overweight because of the food.
No, it's from stress.
It's what causes them. It's what's behind the food. It's what they use the food for. Because food is meant to fuel our bodies. And we use it for other things. One day this week I was sick. Okay, so I had a head cold. Woke up early in the morning and just coughing and sneezing, and my eyes were watering and itchy, and I had a low-grade fever, and I just didn't feel good at all. And I ate on plan, till late afternoon, till about 8 o'clock at night. Okay, and then I was just all of a sudden I was just hungry, and I thought, okay, I've eaten enough food, because I've eaten the plan, and I know that's enough food for me. I haven't done any extra exercise or anything, so I know that I'm not burning extra calories, that I might need extra food. And I thought, well, That's my blood sugar. So I checked my blood sugar, it was 112. That's not enough to cause an insulin surge, because it's insulin that makes you hungry. So it wasn't that. And I thought, okay, so why am I hungry? I'm not physically hungry. So why am I wanting food? So we use this thing in Optavia called Stop, Challenge, Choose. So when something's a little off, it's not how it should be, you stop. And you think about it and you challenge it. What is it that's causing this? So I started thinking, okay, what could cause this? And that's when I started thinking about all the possibilities and ruling everything out, sort of like a differential diagnosis. You make your list of possibilities and start checking them off. And then I realized that I'm an introvert and I get my energy from being alone, but I also need to be around people to some amount, because otherwise I feel really lonely and isolated, and I don't need that either. And I realized that I had been home all day long. I hadn't left the house. I hadn't had a Zoom call or a telephone call or been out in the yard and seen a neighbor. I hadn't seen or talked to another person all day long. And what I was really starving for was other people.
Right.
But it's like 8 o'clock at night.
Kind of late. So
I did call one person and talk to her, and then I called my sister who lives in Texas, because an hour earlier there, so it wasn't too late to call her. By the time I made those 2 phone calls, I wasn't hungry anymore, because the hunger was hunger for contact with other human beings. It wasn't hunger for food, but I interpreted it as hunger for food,
and that's
we
what
often
most
do.
of us do, and that's why we're fat. One of the reasons we're fat,
because we're using food to take care of another need.
That's right.
And if you're not taking care of that other need, I could have eaten something, but I would have still been hungry, because it wasn't food that I was hungry for.
Right.
So,
and those are the things we've got to learn. And we're going to learn more from Dr. Jean. And, she has a website called Getting Healthy with Dr. Jean. And so y'all need to, it's on the thing there. And you should check that out, because she puts on wonderful recipes and good health tips, and we all need that. So anyway, we're going to take our first break, and when we come back, we're going to be with Dr. Jean talking about getting healthy. So don't go away, we'll be right back.
great.
At Downey's Hearing Care Associates, we are dedicated to taking care of every client by providing personal, high-quality hearing care services. My staff and I know hearing loss affects each person and their loved ones differently, so we give you the time and the care you need to ensure the hearing technology chosen fits your lifestyle. At Downey's Hearing Care, we also make custom ear molds and specialize in emergency hearing aid repairs. Downey's Hearing Care Associates has 2 locations, one in Knightdale and one in Rocky Mount. We have hearing lives to save.
Hi, I'm Richard Goss, pharmacist and owner of Allman's Drugstore here in Rocky Mount. Here today with my wife and 2 daughters. For over 75 years, Allman's Drugstore has been the pharmacy of choice for residents of Edgecombe and Nash County. Our family is proud to call Rocky Mount home, and we are excited about the new services and products we are adding daily at both of our Allman's Drugstore locations and also at our medical supply store.
Come in and see us at Allman's Medical Supply. We're an extension of Allman's Drugstores, your local hometown pharmacy. We're here to service all your needs, from wheelchairs to walkers to orthopedic supports to compression hose to hard-to-find wound care supplies. And you'll always get that hometown customer service.
We want our patients to pay the best prices, get the best service available, and have a better pharmacy experience than they will get anywhere else. Our staff is committed to going above and beyond to meet our patients' needs. Whether it is working with your provider to get you the best medication at the best price, contacting your provider to get you refills or a prior authorization, or taking the time to review each of your medications with you personally, or perhaps even helping you find an old-time remedy or other hard-to-find items, your Allman's Drugstore staff will work hard to meet your pharmacy needs. At Allman's, we will deliver your prescriptions for free. Both of our stores have drive-through windows, we guarantee short wait times, and our pharmacists will come out to greet you personally and answer any questions you have. If you want to be met with a smiling face, or even want someone to greet you by name when you walk through the doors, we are the pharmacy for you.
Call Allman's Drugs today.
443-3138 or 446-0014.
All right, I got a question for y'all. Dr. Jean is thinking about starting, tell her what we were talking about.
I'm thinking about starting the first of the year, doing a weight loss support group. And it won't be Optavia, because it'll be whatever plan you want to be on, and just supporting each other. And celebrating weight loss together. And then if you didn't lose weight, or if you maintain your weight, but you wanted to lose weight that week, we could talk about what happened, and together as a group, help you strategize to do better the next week, to overcome the things that cause you, like figuring out why were you hungry if you didn't need food. Maybe we could talk that through and see if we could, as a group, help each other and just support each other. And I would use the Optavia curriculum because it's a great curriculum. And the curriculum doesn't require you to be on the program. It's just it's so much great information. So I would use that as my curriculum, and then I would, after the celebration and the strategizing, do about 10 or 15 minutes of teaching from that book. I was thinking about half an hour is not quite enough, but an hour is too long, so I'm thinking like 45 minutes. And then I would stick around for the whole hour, so if anybody wanted to stay and ask a question or whatever, they could. And I'm trying to decide where to have it, number one, and whether to do it during the day, and if I do it during the day, in the morning or the afternoon, or should I have it in the evening?
So those are my questions.
So,
Number one, would you consider going? Do you think that would be a beneficial service here in Rocky Mount? And so I need to know, you gotta call me and tell me so we can take a little survey. So would you be interested, yes or no? Just call me and say yes. That's all I have to do. Dial the number 407-1111, yes. And then if you are interested, you'll say yes, of course, and then you'd say daytime or nighttime. That's all I want you to do. Call me 407-1111, yes, and day or night, and we'll see.
Okay, if anybody responds.
I think it's a great idea. Matter of fact, I have another idea I'll talk to you about during the next break.
Oh, okay.
So anyway, I think that's great. We need support groups really work. There's a reason there's so many of them. And you like to be, the support group, you want to be in where we're all in the same boat, so to speak. Whether it's weight loss, they have grief support groups. If you've lost a child, if you've lost a parent and you're trying to cope to get through the grief, you name it. There's Alzheimer's support groups, there's Alcoholics Anonymous, there's all sorts of groups, and we all need them for something in our life.
Right.
So,
you're like, I think the statistics show, like, especially with weight loss, that you're 85% more likely to lose weight and maintain the weight loss if you're in a support group than if you're just trying to do it on your own. But everybody says, well, I can do it on my own. Well, why haven't you? If you can do it on your own, why are you not doing anything about it?
Why are you still?
Why have you tried 25 different diets and lasted 2 weeks or a month at the most? And then
you want more phentermine from your doctor.
Right, you want more phentermine,
Yes. So,
which would really kill my cart right now. That AFib would not be happy with phentermine.
No, you could not have phentermine. Absolutely
You wouldn't give me a prescription?
No.
I wouldn't take it if you gave it to me.
I know you wouldn't. So, I have a sign in one of my exam rooms that said that exercise is the most underutilized depression, anxiety medicine.
It is.
And food is the most overused and abused anxiety and depression drug.
That's right.
Because that's what we do. We feel bad. I've had a bad day. I need some carbs. I've had a bad day. I deserve that donut. Instead of
I've had a bad day, I'm just going to sit in my recliner and watch TV all evening.
Instead of going and walking around City Lake, which would clear our minds, make us feel better. And I was just
Reduce
reading,
the stress,
right, and hopefully reduce a little bit of the fat.
burn up some of those calories.
That's right. And I was reading about, the terrible standard American diet, and number one, it's terrible. I'm not even going to talk about that tonight. I'm sick of talking about it. But what a lot
The sad
of,
diet, they call it.
yes,
The standard American diet, the
yes,
sad diet.
and it really is sad.
It really is sad, yep.
But this article was talking about how different countries, like in France, they use all this butter, they make all these sauces, but they don't have plates this big,
That's right.
like this. And then what they do, a lot of places in Europe and other countries, after you've had a meal, you go out and walk.
Right.
And I know if my husband and I go out and eat, a lot of times we'll go maybe just to Belk's and walk around. Not that we really want to buy something, just to move.
To walk after you eat, yep.
I don't live in a good place where I can go and walk
No, you
too
don't.
easy. But, if I'm in town, I can either go to City Lake, which I love. I
Yeah.
love going there.
I do too.
Or I could go to my daughter's and walk in her neighborhood. There's things I can do.
I like the trails in the Greenway, but I don't feel as safe there because it's so hidden. Something happens, nobody's going to see it. City Lake, the cars are going by, somebody's going to see what's going on.
yeah. The
So I
lights
feel
are
a lot
bright.
safer there than I do.
Yeah.
If I'm with a group, I'll pick the Greenways because they're so pretty and
Right.
yeah,
They're comforting.
they're comforting. It's like it's forest bathing.
Forest bathing, that's right. Tree bathing. Yes, I like to tree bathe. I go walk on some trails in my woods just
Yeah.
to,
Yeah, but I'm not going to do that by myself. I just don't feel safe doing that.
yeah, I don't. Usually, I take a dog with me when I go in the woods.
Yeah, well, your dogs are big enough. Nobody's going to bother
No,
you.
nobody will bother me. And, I do have coyotes and things in the woods. They don't really bother you because they're afraid of
Right.
me as much as I'm afraid of them. But, and I don't go in real deep. But, yeah, the nature and tree bathing is great.
It is. That's a stress reliever too. It's tree bathing, yeah.
Absolutely.
And we don't do that in the United States as much as they do in Europe.
Yeah, they're much more active in Europe than we are. And all the little towns, now I've been in big cities. I was in Rome and I was in another big city. I can't remember the name of it right now. But then I was also in a lot of small places. Like one of the most beautiful places in Italy, in my opinion, is Assisi. It's St. Francis of Assisi.
Right.
And it's a little village. But there's a lot of mountains and all I was in the Tuscan region. I was in Tuscany. So a lot of hills and mountains and stuff. And they eat fresh every day. People walk to the grocery store. They have open street markets. They walk and they get their food to make for the night. And I remember in one town I was in, this lady was walking up steep. It seemed like it was going just like that. But she had walked down, bought her food, had her packages in her arms, and she was walking back up.
We don't walk to the store here.
We wouldn't do that.
We would not walk to the store here. And if we did, we'd have something that we pulled behind us to put the stuff in.
Right,
We wouldn't be
right,
carrying it.
Right, yeah. And if it was a big hill, we'd have to have a gondola or something that brought
To take us home
up
again at the
there.
end, yeah.
We're lazy. This is a lazy people in this country. Although I will say that, we're much more spread out than they are in
Yeah.
these smaller towns in Italy.
Well, what you're talking about is the Mediterranean diet.
Yeah.
All of the countries that are around the Mediterranean eat the same basic diet. And that's been shown scientifically to be the healthiest diet.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And that's kind of my goal once I lose my weight and go through maintenance is to get on the Mediterranean diet. So you're eating whole grains and
Yep. Yep.
and mostly more seafood than red meat, which I can do now. But that's
And
That's
more
kinda where I'm
plants
going.
and vegetables than
Right.
meat. There's a book out called, God, my brain, Blue,
there's blue regions. What are they? What's that book called? It's the blue areas where people live to be over 100.
right. And
all the
there's
time.
one in Italy and there's one in Japan but
California.
Yeah, there's a spot in California.
Spot in California.
But all their diets are basically the same. And I was thinking about this goat herder that I read a story in that book. Blue Zones. Isn't that it? The Blue Zones?
Could be.
Somebody's calling me. Hey, this is Linda and Jean. Are you a yes or a no? Are you going to join the weight loss group?
I am already healthy.
Oh,
Good.
Yeah, I have a question about sugar-free cookies for Santa Claus.
What's your
I
question?
heard he's coming to town, and he will be at the Moose Lodge in a short time from now. He's going to need some cookies and milk.
Oh. And so what's your question? Are sugar-free cookies better than regular cookies? What is your question?
Yeah, I was just wondering if there's some recipes for sugar-free cookies that you could share.
Ah.
Yeah.
Well, I
What
don't...
other kind of snacks can you give to Santa that are healthy?
Oh. Okay. We can talk about that.
Yeah, we can talk about that.
All right. Thanks
Thank
for
you.
calling.
Okay.
Well, I wouldn't recommend sugar-free cookies.
No.
Because you're just putting more chemicals in there.
Yeah.
And then sugar-free cookies usually have more fat in it because
Yeah.
they put things into, when you take the sugar out, you have to put something else in
To make it
put the
palatable.
flavor in. So you're gonna have chemicals, and you're gonna have fats and things like that added to the cookie in order to compensate for the sugar being taken out. So I would opt, if you want to leave Santa with some healthy snacks, you could leave him some vegetables and dip, or you could use some nuts, in a little bag that he can take with him and snack on the nuts as he's going around his sleigh ride and delivering all of his
Grapes.
grapes,
apples.
fruit, apples, bananas. Lots of fruit. He can use fruit. He needs to be on Optavia because
Because there's a lot of snacks you can carry, yes, yes.
but because he needs to lose weight too.
Right, that's right. Well, and the other thing about the sugar-free, you can make cookies and not use sugar.
Right, or flour.
Or flour. You can, now, a friend of mine, Joy, she's also a certified health coach. I got a lot of certified health coaches in my life. I think God's trying to tell me something. But anyway, she made some pumpkin muffins, and she ground oatmeal, to make her flour out of oats.
Right.
And she got pumpkin puree that you would
Right.
put in a pie. And she
Dates
might have
to sweeten
even
it.
she might have even cooked her own pumpkin, now that I think. But anyway, and she used honey. And
You can also use dates to sweeten.
dates are good to sweeten, and prunes are good to sweeten.
Yes, they are.
So you can make sugar-free cookies differently than the traditional white flour, and you cream in the egg and the butter, and then you throw in some sugar, and you can do it without doing all those things. And there's got to be tons of sugar-free recipes online.
Oh, I'm sure there are, yeah.
Yeah.
But you could give Santa some protein, like a hard-boiled egg. That would be good to eat, or some roast, like a chicken leg that he could
Or you
put his
could
hand and eat.
even
or
a little bit of jerky.
jerky is fine.
You
Yeah,
know, it's got
cheese.
this
Cheese is the whiter the cheese, the less fat there is in it.
Right.
So it's better to use a white cheese than a yellow cheese. But there are lots of things you can leave besides cookies. He doesn't always have to have sweets.
Right. That's right.
You can you can leave him a note that says you're trying to get him to get healthy. So you're leaving him out because you want him to be around
No
next year.
cookies,
Yeah,
and
no
if you're
cookies.
gonna
I
have
want you to be here
milk-
next year. So
If you're going to have milk, it's got to be, skim milk.
or almond milk or
Or my favorite is oat milk.
Oat
I
milk's
love
good.
oat milk.
Yeah.
I can drink almond milk, that's fine, but yeah.
I like almond milk.
So,
Yeah.
yeah, Santa, you're just going to have to learn to eat differently. That's all there's to it. Just like the rest of us. We
Yep.
all have to learn how to eat differently and what to do differently.
Just think what a good role model he would be to all the children out there.
I know,
Like, Santa got
Santa.
healthy this year, and exercised, and got his weight under control. And,
Oh.
yeah, I'm still happy and jolly. I don't have to be fat to be happy and jolly. Yeah.
That's it. We don't have to be happy. Yeah, that's right.
Yep.
Oh, well, I was hoping somebody would call about our little challenge.
And not the right
but
people listening tonight for that.
Apparently not, but
Yeah.
that's okay. I might just take a survey at work. You know, we had a weight loss challenge
did.
at our office, and it had a big grand prize. I think the grand prize was like $500, but
It's an incentive.
that's an incentive. But you know, you might be able to. We could figure out some kind of an incentive too.
Yeah. Have a prize for the person that loses the most percentage of weight
Right.
in a whatever period of time we want to
Right.
make it.
And we could probably get companies from like Walmart and Belk and places like that might donate something. We got some work to do. We'll think about that during the break, of which
Yeah.
we're going to take our next break. So I'm still waiting for you to call me and tell me yes or no, day or night. Anyway, hang on and we'll be right back after the words from our sponsors. Don't go away.
At Downey's Hearing Care Associates, we are dedicated to taking care of every client by providing personal, high-quality hearing care services. My staff and I know hearing loss affects each person and their loved ones differently. So we give you the time and the care you need to ensure the hearing technology chosen fits your lifestyle. At Downey's Hearing Care, we also make custom ear molds and specialize in emergency hearing aid repairs. Downey's Hearing Care Associates has 2 locations, one in Knightdale and one in Rocky Mount. We have hearing lives to save.
When faced with special care needs for elderly or disabled loved ones, families want compassionate, comforting care. That's Tender Touch Home Care Services' goal, providing the level of care we would expect for our own. With over 10 years of home care excellence, Tender Touch provides an array of services that keeps your loved one at home. From personal care, light housekeeping, errands, and meal preparation, to our private duty care program, which combines all of our home care offerings in one package.
Tender Touch Home Care Services, where your needs are our concern.
You rip and tear your old statements and bills, but thieves use this information to steal your identity. Don't be a victim. Get the ID Police, the new ink roller that encrypts all your old documents. So before you throw it out, just roll it on, and your information is gone, both on the front and through the back. Even if the paper is held up to the light, even your medical information is safe with the ID Police. So block it out before you throw it out. Order now and get your ID Police for as low as $9.99 and get free shipping too. This offer is not available on Amazon, so call or click now to get your ID Police for as low as $9.99 with free shipping. Order now.
Call 1-800-903-8865. That's 1-800-903-8865. Or visit getidpolice.com. So call 1-800-903-8865 now.
Hi, I'm Richard Koss, pharmacist and owner of Allman's Drugstore here in Rocky Mount. Here today with my wife and 2 daughters. For over 75 years, Allman's Drugstore has been the pharmacy of choice for residents of Edgecombe and Nash County. Our family is proud to call Rocky Mount home, and we are excited about the new services and products we are adding daily at both of our Allman's Drugstore's locations and also at our medical supply store.
Come in and see us at Allman's Medical Supply. We're an extension of Allman's Drugstores, your local hometown pharmacy. We're here to service all your needs, from wheelchairs to walkers to orthopedic support to compression hose to hard-to-find wound care supplies. And you'll always get that hometown customer service.
We want our patients to pay the best prices, get the best service available, and have a better pharmacy experience than they will get anywhere else. Our staff is committed to going above and beyond to meet our patients' needs. Whether it is working with your provider to get you the best medication at the best price, contacting your provider to get you refills or a prior authorization, or taking the time to review each of your medications with you personally, or perhaps even helping you find an old-time remedy or other hard-to-find items, your Allman's Drugstore staff will work hard to meet your pharmacy needs. At Allman's, we will deliver your prescriptions for free. Both of our stores have drive-through windows, we guarantee short wait times, and our pharmacists will come out to greet you personally and answer any questions you have. If you want to be met with a smiling face, or even want someone to greet you by name when you walk through the doors, we are the pharmacy for you.
Call Allman's Drugs today.
443-3138 or 446-0014.
Hello, welcome back. Well, Gene and I, we've been cooking up some ideas during the commercials, so who knows what we'll come up with.
We're always good with ideas.
Yeah. I am great with ideas. Getting them to follow through and pay for them, because, excuse me, every idea I have costs a lot of money. That's why I went to this meeting today after work, but anyway. So, well, let's talk a little bit about stress reduction. You did talk about stress as far as organizing your life and having things written down and working from a list. What are some of the other stress reductions we think we should do?
One of the things you can think about is delegation. Maybe you're doing more than you should be doing. And there's some things you can either let go of or still be in control of them, but ask somebody else to do them for you. And be creative. That it might be somebody you're not thinking about right now. So that's one thing, is to look at all the things you're doing and see, is there anything that I can let go of? So I've just done it forever, and I don't really need to keep on doing it. Somebody else could do that. Somebody else could take their turn at that, and to reduce your stress level.
Right.
So that's one thing you can do to reduce stress. Exercise is another thing. Just walking. You know,
Yeah.
if you're feeling stressed, take a walk, especially if you can take a walk outside. If the weather's bad, you
today
can't.
I walked out, we go to a meeting on Wednesdays, and I did not want to walk back in that office. It was so beautiful.
Beautiful today,
out.
it was,
Oh,
really.
gosh.
It was gorgeous out
Enjoyed
today.
God's creation.
Yeah. I hadn't been out yet when I went to the meeting, and I put a coat on and walked out the door, and I said, nope, walk back in the house,
I
put the
know.
coat back in the
I
closet,
know.
and walked
I
out
know.
without it. Yeah, I just
I
didn't
wish
need it.
I had a coat to go home tonight, but
Yeah.
I'll be all right.
It's not that cold.
No.
But I think if just taking a 5-minute walk is fine. You know, it'll reduce your stress level.
Yeah.
Yeah, and getting out-
Sometimes I just go and walk
out in the
around the
sunshine.
parking lot a couple times during, at lunch, just to get away.
Right. And if you can't go outside, for whatever reason, just walking up and down in the hallway will help. Just anything that gets you like swinging your arms and get your heart rate up just a little bit. It doesn't have to be outside.
Right.
Outside is better, but if it's not, just
yeah.
doing some kind of movement.
Got to
that's
do
it.
what you can do.
Yeah. Breathing also helps. Just taking deep breaths. And there's one form of breathing, it's called box breathing. Have you ever heard of box
Yes,
breathing?
I have.
Box breathing is great. It works for me. I'm extremely claustrophobic. I don't know where I got the claustrophobia from, but I am claustrophobic. And it extends to my feet. My feet are claustrophobic if I put them in boots.
Really?
Yeah, I feel like they can't get out, you know? and I get real anxious. And I've always wanted to wear boots because I just think they're so cool looking. So I bought some ankle boots, and they zip down the side, you know? So I thought, oh, I can wear these because I know I can always unzip it and get my foot out, and all that. I put them on, and before I got out to the car, I was anxious, and I said, I am wearing these boots. You know, I'm going to do this. I got in the car, and I'm starting to sweat, and I'm getting all anxious, and I'm thinking, this is ridiculous, Jean. They're feet. You know, they're in boots that you can take off. There's no reason to feel claustrophobic and getting all anxious. I said, so what would you tell a client that was getting anxious to do? Well, the first thing you do is tell them to do the box breathing. So why aren't you box breathing? So I did. I'm going down the road. And with box breathing, you breathe in to a count of 5, you hold it for a count of 5, and you breathe out for a count of 5, and hold it for a count of 5. It creates a box. And then you just breathe in again. So I started doing box breathing. And pretty soon my heart rate was down, I wasn't anxious, and I got to the meeting, and I'm halfway through the meeting, all of a sudden it dawned on me, I've had these boots on for an hour. you know, and my feet should be, you know, and I started getting anxious again. So I'm sitting there in this meeting, and I started doing the box breathing. Nobody knows what you're doing. It's not that obvious.
Right.
So I started box breathing again, and the anxiety just went away, and I got all the way through the meeting, got home again with boots on. so box breathing was good for my claustrophobia. I don't, you know.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, I learned about box breathing at a conference I went to, and a psychiatrist was talking about stress relief, and that was one of the things he talked about,
Yeah.
was different breathing techniques.
Yeah, that's
There's
not the
other
only one, but.
Right, there's other ones. I don't remember any of them off the top of my head, but, you know, I don't even know my own name right now tonight, but I'll remember by tomorrow morning.
Well, just taking deep breaths all by itself. It doesn't have to be box breathing. It can be any kind of deep breath, because it regulates your breathing, so you're not breathing more rapidly. When you get anxious, you're usually breathing more rapidly. Either that or you're not breathing hardly at all.
Right.
Or one way or the other.
hold your breath.
Yeah, but getting your breath regulated, and when you're taking a deep breath, you're getting more oxygen, so it's getting more oxygen to your brain, and it's getting you your concentration on your breathing rather than whatever it is that's bothering you, whatever it is that's stressing you. So you're changing your locus of concentration, and getting your breathing slowed down and regulated, and that kind of reduces your stress level.
Yeah.
But unless you do something about what's causing the stress, it's going to come back again. But it still reduces the stress, so do that. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, don't you just love Jean? She just is so practical. You know, that's what I like. I like things that people can talk to me about that I can apply to my life. You know, it's great if something, you know, mountain biking works for you and you do 10 miles a week. Well,
Not practical.
it's not practical for me. And so I've got to talk to people and know things that I can apply to myself. So, yeah, it's great. And, you know, we live in such a stressful world right now.
We do.
So chaotic. And we need all the stress reduction we can get. Excuse me.
Nobody's going to have to rock you to sleep tonight, are they?
Oh, no, my problem is not getting to sleep, it's staying asleep.
Okay. All right.
So, got any tips for staying asleep?
Well, there's a lot of answers to that, and it may have something to do with your environment. It may have something to do with your stress level when you go to sleep. You're tired, you go to sleep, but then when you get enough sleep, the stress is still there, and the stress is waking you up. So I know I slept better at night after I started putting things down and getting it organized again. But did you know that even when you have your eyes closed and you're asleep, you can see light? And light will wake you up.
Yeah.
So look around your room. When I read about that, I turned my lights off and went to bed, and I looked around my room, and there's lights everywhere. My phone had lights on it, my clock had a light on it. That on the little strip that I plug things into on the floor, it had a light on it. You know,
Yes.
and the on the wall where the alarm from my house that is settled there, there's a little green light on that. So I mean, there were lights in my room. I'm thinking, I turned the lights out, and there's lights in my room still. So covering those up and make sure that it's really dark in your room is important. Also, you sleep better when you're cold than when you're hot. So about 65 degrees, 60 to 65 degrees is ideal for sleeping. So I like it to be 60 degrees and put a quilt on.
I do too.
I like the weight. Yeah,
I do too.
that's the weight of the blanket is helpful. That's why they have the weighted blankets to reduce stress. So a weighted blanket is helpful. Another thing you can do if you're stressed out is to put a weighted blanket on. It's comforting. It makes you feel like you're
I
protected.
think we could go back to our roots when
Exactly.
we were swaddled as babies.
Right.
So I don't know, but yeah. I do all of that, but my thing is I got to get up and use the restroom.
Oh yeah, me
And
too.
then sometimes, it depends upon how many times I get up, because I can get up as many as 5 times. It just depends upon how much I've drank, and I try not to, this is not very normal for me at this time of night, but I haven't had supper and I'm hungry.
I try not to drink anything after 6 o'clock.
Yeah.
I mean, just sips here and there, but
Right. Yeah,
like I said, I'm not up all night. I'm always up at least once during the night, but if I stop drinking at 6, then I'm not up 3 or 4 times.
And then if
during
I
the night.
have a hot flash, I can't sleep when I'm hot.
Nope, that's right. If you're hot, you can't sleep.
And I can't do anything about that. That's,
No.
so.
Yeah.
I'll be all right. I've been all right for all these years. I think I'll be all right for the rest of my days on this earth.
Yeah.
So.
But the cold does help you to sleep better.
Yeah.
As long as you're not cold. You got a blanket to keep you warm, but hey, keeping the room cold and dark and quiet.
I love sleeping in a.
Although some people do better if they've got a constant noise, like white noise, or like a fan that's blowing, so they can, not blowing on them, but just blowing, so
The
they can.
noise.
The noise from the fan is constant noise. They sleep better with that. Not everybody does, but
I put on, to help me to go to sleep, I put on instrumental music.
that goes off automatically. Yeah.
Yeah. And I love to listen to Christian music and Christian, but then I found myself singing. I remember, I know the
Yeah.
words to the instruments, and so that
And then you couldn't go to sleep.
so that didn't work. I had to just have plain old piano music, or violin is one of my favorites.
Yeah.
I love stringed instruments. They're my favorites.
So Thanksgiving's coming up.
Yep.
Remind everybody not to get stressed out over Thanksgiving.
Don't get stressed out over Thanksgiving.
Make it all about Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
Make it all about giving thanks, being grateful for what you have, for the blessings you've had all
And
year.
don't do it all yourself. You provide the turkey. Somebody else can bring the green bean casserole.
That's the delegation I was talking about.
There you go.
Yeah, you don't have to do it all. But and it's fun to have people are coming to your house. Let a couple of them make different parts of the salad and put the salad together and do different parts of, so you're not doing everything.
Right.
They can bring things from their house.
And I'll tell you what we did last year, and we're going to do it again this year, is we had breakfast.
It's a great thing to
We
do.
came over, everybody came over about 10 o'clock. We all had breakfast stuff. Because I have blended families, so, some of my grandkids needed to go to their mamas or to their daddies, and so we'd get them there at noon, feed them this big huge meal, and they'd stuff it in, and they'd be there for 2 hours, and then they'd have to go to the other
Get another
parents
meal,
or
yeah.
other grandparents, and then they don't want to eat because they just got done eating and they're stuffed, and little kids don't care about that kind of stuff anyway. So last year we did breakfast, and everybody brought something, and we ate, and then some of the kids went out in the woods. My youngest son set up a target, so there was some
fun.
went out in the woods and shot at the targets. Some stayed and sat on the patio and drank iced tea. It was a really warm day that day. And, then we took a walk. We live in the country, so there was lots of, donkeys to go look at and other animals besides mine, and we
Yeah.
just went for a walk, and it was really delightful and very stress-free.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to my brother's house, who lives in Wake Forest, and he's got a fire pit, and we're making Brunswick stew outside in the fire pit.
Oh, nice.
And so everybody's bringing, my sister-in-law divided up all the ingredients, and everybody's bringing it, and we sit in there in her kitchen, and all the women are in there cutting everything up, and the men are outside with tending to the fire, and it's an all,
That
it's an
sounds
all-day
fun.
thing.
Yeah, I might want to
yeah.
go there. I'll eat breakfast at home, then I'll go to Wake
And so
Forest for the
we're
stew.
all bringing everything.
Right.
And we're all cooking together
Right.
all day.
And that's the whole thing, is being together. But anyway, it's time for us to say goodnight. Thank you so much for watching. Thanks for not calling, but it's okay. I
okay.
forgive y'all. And we will see you next week with more Here's to Your Good Health. Good night.